Do you take life too seriously? Maybe there's sometimes we all take life a little bit too seriously. There's two ends of the spectrum. One person who, let's just say, seems like a ditz, and everything is so much fun to them. They can just laugh and giggle at everything. They can walk into fire hydrants as they're closing, walking across the road, didn't see it. They could stumble when they're walking into a place because they didn't see a step. They can giggle about every single time they run into something or walk into something, and they just kind of seem a little bit ditzy. And when you're having a conversation with them, they might just be like, "Ah, what did you say?" Because maybe they were just thinking about how great life is while you were talking about some intellectual concept. So this is one extreme, okay? You could just think of a ditzy person, la 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 la, okay? And the other extreme could be somebody who's like, you need to watch your step when you're crossing the road. You don't want to make sure you're walking into anything. Like, how are you doing that? When you walk out of a place, make sure you look down and at your step, because what if you fall down and break your head? Don't. Why are you bumping into stuff? I can't believe that. I've been talking for 20 minutes. How did you not follow this conversation? Like, this is such an important topic. This could be the change of the future. This could be everything that impacts the future of humanity. This is somebody who is very serious. Everything's so serious. A ditzy person on one extreme is just enjoying life. Maybe every once in a while, like, why are you acting that way with me? This is out of nowhere, right? Because they don't just like enjoying life. But like, I get the sense that they would just really enjoy life. That's great, right? What's wrong with it? Everything's just so wonderful. They just they're so present in looking at everything, enjoying stuff. And this serious person is so focused on the importance of whatever they think is important. So they're not potentially living in the world and feeling and using their senses. They're living in their mind a lot. And I'll tell you what, to live in your mind all the time is really tough. And I think it is tough for them. It's probably why they're so serious about it, because they've been just playing and replaying all these different possible scenarios so much. The reason why I'm sharing this is when I was younger, I really enjoyed just having fun. I probably would have been maybe more on the ditzy side of stuff. I met people that were very ditzy, so I'm not going to say that I was like an extreme ditz. I definitely wasn't. Okay, I still like intellectually great, and I really could connect to people and get like energy out of them. But I would say I tended to be more on that side. And look, a ditzy person doesn't have to be stupid. Okay, my grades are really good, and I've also met other people who like you would just think they're a little bit ditzy, but they are freaking brilliant. Okay, like whoa, intellectually super brilliant. And over time, I feel like I have gotten more serious. Sometimes I feel like I'm too serious. Like, why am I so stressed out about that thing that like could potentially never happen? I feel like some of our serious comes through the worries we have in life. Like, there's no need to take life so seriously. You've heard people say it before, life is a game. And if you're trying to have fun, then you can have a lot of fun. And life's it's pretty easy. When I was younger, I still remember being in university and people telling me how hard life is and how stressful it is, and they can't decide if they need to do this thing or that. And it just, I could see it like squeezing them and causing all this stress inside of them. I'm like, like, why are you so stressed? Like, you don't have to take everything so seriously. And they're like, what? It just didn't register for anyone. But at that point in time, I didn't take much seriously at all. Like, I was just having fun like all the time. I loved it. Sure, there were some stressful things or stressful exams and stuff like that, but it didn't bother me. I would just like cram the night before a test. I just had a blast all the time. And so it was fun. But some people in university were so stressed about stuff like, oh my God, just everything was so stressful for them. It's unfortunate when we take life too seriously and we can't enjoy it because we hold on to all this stress when instead we could be happier, enjoying life more. And so as I've gotten older, I've lost the sense of that enjoyment for everything and gained a little bit more of this seriousness and stress. When I meet people, some of them see me as naive or kind of like foolish in a sense. This is more attenuated to the ditzy side of stuff. I want to channel that energy. I want to channel that child, that inner child that's excited to learn about everything and just be interested in stuff. It's fun, and it gets you really really present when you could just bring out the inner child. when you're too serious about stuff, you you might still be able to learn, but like it's not nearly as fun. And I think you get less out of people because when you're really excited about stuff, people want to share. It's unfortunate. Occasionally people will see the energy that I have and like think it's just naive or potentially in a negative sense. Because I hear people describe it nowadays, but it's not in a negative sense because I've really understood this energy better where a lot of my friends see me as asking very intellectual questions or asking them very unique questions to get a lot out of them because I've just found how to change this over time. Plus, I am more serious now too. But I really enjoy doing unique things or figuring out unique things from people and asking these questions. If I'm just having light conversation with people, this is actually a difficult thing for me. I'm not so good at it. When I was younger, it was. Now I might be a little bit too serious now because light conversation. Oh yeah, I did this yesterday. I did this, that. Oh my God, don't make me sit there for an hour. What I would rather do is ask somebody. Usually if there's like a group of people, everyone will be chatting about stuff for a while. Just, let those conversations die down. This, that, like whatever it might be. And then when the conversation dies down, I might ask somebody, what has been a thought that you've had recently that keeps coming back up in your head and it just seems really important to you? That's just one of my types of questions. It's not my typical question, maybe something like that, but it's one of my questions. So I'll like get deeper into these people's minds, and then it's a good, interesting conversation, and I'll like it. I'm gonna bring myself back from all the rambling. Are you too serious about some things in life? Are you not serious enough about some things in life? Do you really need to be that serious about stuff? This is also a question of myself. Do you really need to be serious? I feel myself getting serious about stuff, but do I really need to be? I feel the most important reason to be serious is in a dangerous situation. If something dangerous is about to happen, well, you got to see it, recognize it, or potentially avoid it before it happens. And sometimes if you need to explain that to someone else and they're not seeing it, you got to make sure to get out of that situation as quickly as possible, even if it's being very serious with the other person, to support them in recognizing the situation that you're in and getting out of it. Okay, I have been in situations like that. There are dangerous situations in America. There's a decent amount of dangerous situations, and you should just avoid them altogether rather than, be unaware. Sometimes you could be too ditzy, potentially unaware, get into that situation, and then you have to find your way out. Just better to avoid really dangerous situations. Now, this is not falling over a stair or, walking into a fire hydrant. These are not like very simple things. That's fine. Someone's going to bump their knee or someone's going to play soccer and twist their ankle or break their leg. These things are going to happen, okay? You shouldn't be so serious. Just for example, on this one, for soccer or football, whichever one you want to imagine in your mind, depending on where you're from at the moment. But let's just say you have this coach, and this coach is very supportive. Let's just say that. He's very supportive. And so when you're kicking the ball, he says, that's great how you kick that ball. Also, you could try this technique and you can try this, and let's practice on some of these techniques. This will improve your game and you will do better. You're going to kick the ball more straight. You'll be able to pass with more control. And then let's just say there's another coach and he's a little bit more serious. No, do not kick the ball like that. You're going to break your foot and you're going to break your ankle. And the more you do that, the more you're going to hurt yourself. Like, don't do that again. And he's a little bit serious. Unfortunately, when somebody is so serious to someone else, their mind kind of closes. And so when you get serious about stuff, you're not truly seeing all this stuff anymore. You're not seeing all the opportunities. For example, this other coach that's telling someone to try their kicks, they might try the kicks of the coach and slowly get better, but then they could be some wonderful, like they're going to be in the future. There's the top soccer/football player in the world, and they've created their own kick, their own new style of kicking. That's the best way to kick the ball that's ever been invented before. But because they had so much freedom in exploring and trying new things, they've created something. For someone in too serious an environment, they have trouble creating because you can't see everything. Like you have to listen to what you were told. Don't do it different. Don't do something different. Don't try a new kick. Don't try something different. Because if you do, you might break your ankle. And so you're just concerned. That's always a thought in there. And that thought will stay in there. And maybe if that coach says other stuff. And so be so serious. And so if someone else does it, you'll be serious with them. Like, don't break your ankle. Like, it's just you're becoming serious. And so what we want is these open kind of environments. We want this coach that's supportive. Try this style. See how that works for you. Just be careful. You could get injured, and try and experiment. And I feel like we need to do the same thing in life. We need to try, we need to experiment